Morning. Well, it is for me. It's Sunday morning. It's quite nice outside. Bit of a chill with the wind. A little bit hungover. So I thought best not to go out on the beach today. But I haven't done a sort of maintenance-y bit for a little while. So I thought I'd be in the shed, get the bikes individually, because the old chains are starting to look very dry. Booster's not as bad, but there's a bit of filth on there. Starting to look a bit dry, and just to check them over really, check the tyre pressures and stuff. I don't do it regular enough, and that's just a fact. It's not a fact I'm proud of. It's not a fact I'm ashamed of either. As you can tell, the bikes are disgusting, because they are, apart from mediocre. Mediocre ain't looking too bad. Well, when I say not too bad, I mean gorgeous. Gorgeous. The old Honda, that's in a few rough days and hasn't been cleaned. The old paint's not, oh, LED flashing some more. It's the old paint's not as thick as it should be, could be, would be. I think the older bikes have got better paint on them. Probably apart from mediocre being my oldest bike, because I did the paint on that, so it's probably not as hardy as the manufacturer's paint on this, which isn't very hardy at all. But yeah, that's me fucking about in the shed, just doing a bit of maintenance. And I was that lazy, I couldn't be bothered to get my stand down with the pads that go underneath your swing arm, because Honda, in their cheapness, or less weight, more speed, or keeping it aerodynamic, provide nowhere to stick your old bobbins on. To stick it up in the air on a normal paddock stand. But I couldn't be bothered to get mine down with the pads on to lift it, so I've just got the old wheel spinner out of retirement. I'm going to use that instead. Just pinched it up on the old stand to stand it up. But yeah, that's it really. What are you up to on your Sunday morning? Nothing as exciting as me. But yeah, I'll get on with that. Bit of greasing, bit of air pressure jobbies, and yeah, I'll bring you backwards and forwards if and when I can be bothered. I mean, it's good in my lazy state of mind that I've actually made it to the shed. I'm definitely contemplating doing some maintenance. I've just got to get on with it now. Just get a bit of incentive to get on with it. But yeah, that's what I'm here and doing. Hopefully your Sunday's a lot more exciting than mine. How could it be? Look at this wondrous shed that I built in grand dreams of doing bikes up and doing extra bits to mediocre and everything, and it's a struggle getting out here to just do general maintenance and cleaning. God, who does cleaning these days? Wow. I know there's some people somewhere watching this thinking, oh, I've got myself a nice bike dryer and everything, and that's entirely up to them, but it just seems weird. A bike hairdryer, very strange. Anyway, let's get sorted, set up, manoeuvre some of these bikes to give me some space, and crack on with some much needed maintenance. Right, now a bit of chain lubing. Just use the old Rockwell chain lube. And what I do after throwing the lid on the floor is fill the lid up. Fill the lid up, and then I don't get the overspray. And then all I do, which is probably going to aggravate a few people, is shove it on. All the way round. I don't bother with all that cleaning nonsense, and I don't bother spraying it on, because that leads to overspray. I don't want overspray, not all over my wheel and everything. I get a bit of fling off doing this, but nowhere near as much as when I used to swamp the chains. And I don't use anywhere near as much chain lube as I used to use either. I think I've had this particular tin. I think the missus bought me it must have been 3 tins. God blimey. 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. That's how terrible I am at doing chains, but I do find this method really cuts down on my usage. And it also makes me look at the chain a bit more to see if my O-rings are all still intact, or X-rings, or whatever ring piece is in there. A bit more up close and personal with the machine. As I say, I don't get the fling off I used to have, and the build up on the side stand or the front sprocket or anything like that. It's all fairly well kept to the chain. So that's what I do. Yeah, I didn't video all of the air pressure goings on. I just did a cinematographic. I just videoed me putting some air in it and then taking the valve back off, but ultimately that wasn't the true pressure. It takes 42 in the back with hay, that's a big girl, and 36 in the front. The back was about 4 or 5 pound out, and the front was 4 pound out. 4 psi out. So they needed a little bit, but not too terrible. Which is good. And again, the old Road 6s, they do fill you with confidence. A 160 back tyre don't fill you with a lot of confidence. Seem to run out of tread. There you go, something like that. And then I'll do a bit on the inside as well, just spinning it round on there, just to let you know. I think I've told you all this before, but that's about as much of the chain maintenance I do. And I don't know, if I kept the bike long enough, I'd probably get a decent mileage out of them. I am at that stage where I'm probably going to be keeping the bikes a lot longer. So, but yeah, that's all I do, and that's pretty much it. I'll put a bit of white lithium in all the joints and all the like the hinge bits, all these doobries in the gear linkage bit there, just to hopefully keep them free and working. But that's about it. I mean, it takes me a lot of incentive to get out of here. Get out of here? See, even my mind is working against me. It takes a lot to get me out here and getting me doing stuff. So although this appears minimal to you, this is great effort on my point. More concerned with getting a good shot. Didn't put the bloody ramp down. Hey, the things I do for you guys. So there's a little bit more on the booster. Obviously the chain again wants greasing, looking very dry. Yeah, very dry. No good. And obviously check the tyre as I go. But also it wants adjustment. has done for probably a couple of weeks now. So again, it's good that I'm getting around to doing this. The old gearboxes get a bit agricultural when your chain's a bit loose, don't they? Let's bring the air valve around. Let's get the easy stuff done first, and then just that chain. But yeah, again, it's filthy, and I don't think I'm washing it today. But yeah, I'll do what I did on the last one, the last machine, on this one, and then might bring you back so you can watch me adjust the chain. Hey, how exciting. It'll be a little while for me, but it'll be like magic. It'll be like almost immediately I'll be on to adjusting that chain. And I used to have the axle round the other way, and I asked you all questions. Does that matter? Does it not? And I think the consensus of opinion was it doesn't matter. But I've put it through the right way when I swapped the tyres over. So this is factory now. And also the adjuster block, my one, didn't have this back portion here to stop the axle twisting. It only had the front raised bit. So I got another set of those, and I've made that proper as well. So don't think these bits aren't getting done, those of you with long-term memories or even short-term memories that last a while. Because I don't know when long-term memories start. Is that a month ago, 10 months ago, 6 years ago? Don't know. And when short-term memories become long-term memories, when's the transition? You let me know about that. That's exciting stuff. Anyway, yes, so as I say, when I change the tyres, I put the axle in round the right way, according to the book, the manual, the Bible, and also put in the correct adjuster block, so it actually sandwiches the axle, stopping it twisting. So I do get on with these little bits, but I do like listening to the radio. So you really do miss out sometimes. Anyway, as I say, I'm going to put some air in the tyres. I think it's 42 front and rear on the booster because it's such a lump. Yeah, air in the tyres and grease the chain, and then adjust it. Once I've covered it in grease, then I'll adjust it. That's the sensible way of doing it. So air pressures and chain greasing done. Back tyre was 40, so it needed £2, and the front one was 38, so it wanted £4, 4 psi, sorry. So it's just a chain now. So this shouldn't take long, as long as it goes all right. So just take a bit of the tension off. Then probably quarter turns both sides. Until it seems like I've achieved the correct tension. Because you don't really, well, I don't really want to go past the point where it's actually too tight, because then I've got to take the axle nut right off and detension it. Don't think I'm far off there. Yeah, that seems alright. I mean, if you whack it hard enough, you'll get it to move, but that's a little bit more. That seems like the kiddie. And I get the old calipers, vernier calipers, whatever they're bloody called. Call them what you like. Measuring device. And measure there, which is 8.8. And the other side is 8.6. Oh my god, yeah. There you go, that's it. Done. So, just need a retension on the nut. Let's just pinch up the adjuster lock nut. And again, if you feel I'm doing it wrong or I've missed a step or comprendi, let me know in the comments. And I'm fairly good at answering, but I don't get that many comments, so it's fairly easy. This is set at 100 Newton meters. Somewhere about here. No, somewhere about here. Yes, mate. And then just double check the chain still within tolerance. Yeah, I'll take that. It's good enough, not too tight. I'd rather it more on the slack side than tight side. Because on the tight side you can start messing up your front output shaft and all the rest of it, is what I've heard. I've never managed to do it. I don't want to manage to do it, but it's definitely taken the slack out. Before I could move that up, just pushing up with my fingers to touch the plastic. Now I've really got to smash it up to get that to touch. So I'm happy with that. That would be good enough. The gear changes will go back to being smooth rather than agricultural. And yeah, as quick as that, done. I used to undo this quite a lot, but what I found out was the axle, as it comes through to the threads, the diameter gets smaller. So if you undo that too much, this side is actually leaning against the threads rather than the actual axle. When you tighten it back up, it pulls it through onto the fatter bit of the axle, which obviously pulls this back, which completely ruins the tension of your chain. It took a lot of years to find that out, a lot of fucking about. I used to throw a spanner in the sprocket and really tighten it back to tension the chain right up, which should bring the wheel as far forward as it was going, and then tighten it up and all the rest of it. And a lot of failures, a lot of frustration over the years. But yeah, as soon as I found out, as I say, the axle, I don't know whether it's all bikes or more so Suzuki's, the axle shaft comes through and then it gets slightly smaller, only slightly, when the threads are there. So if you detension the nut or the chain too much, take the nut off too much and loosen your axle too much, you'll be tightening whatever side the threads are, you'll be tightening that up against the threads. And then, as I say, as you pull the axle through and it gets to the fatter shaft, it'll actually pull the wheel back a bit as it comes through, and then your chain just goes like piano string. It's no good at all. But that's as quick as that, and that's that done. And that is the booster done. Again, I'll probably go through and put the old lithium grease on the moving parts. Quick check on mediocre for air pressure, tyre pressure, not fucking air pressure, tyre pressure, and check the chain. I think the chain's all right on mediocre. It wasn't that long ago I done it, and I use a wax on mediocre, so it gives that dry look anyway. But yeah, there you go. That's good enough. And usually, I say usually, I don't usually do it anyway, but usually when I'm doing the chain, I have been out for a run first, so the chain's warm, so it's, yeah, the oil's meant to flow a bit better and get in places that it doesn't when it's cold and blah blah blah. But ultimately it's just to stop it rusting, isn't it? Gives you a bit more longevity. But the important bit is in those segments there, the manufacturer's grease that rolls around on the pin. That's where you don't want the wear. Anyway, it's enough waffle, piffle, paffle, blah blah blah. I'm going to put the radio on, and I'll possibly see you folks again. Taylor. Booster. Also. Oh. In other news. Look. Oh, where are you? There, look. Look. Peg down. Yay! Peg down on the booster. I mean, it's huge, but peg down on national roads, that's all right, isn't it? I feel as though I've really accomplished there. I'm fairly proud of myself. Anyway, enough waffle. I'll catch you again. Ta-ra.